Have you ever stopped to think about the impact of your presence in someone's life? I'm not talking about the obvious things, the texts, the calls, the laughs. I mean the quiet power you bring to their world just by being there. Now, imagine what happens when that presence disappears. No warning, no explanation, just gone. Let's get real for a moment. How many times have you stayed in someone's life, giving them your time, your energy, your love, only to feel invisible? Taken for granted? You convince yourself that your absence wouldn't matter, that they'd move on like nothing ever happened. But here's the truth. Your absence isn't just felt, it shakes their world in ways they never expected. Think of it like this. You've been the steady rhythm in their life, the background music they don't even notice until it stops. And when it does, the silence is deafening. In today's video, we're diving deep into the 6 things they feel when you simply disappear. This isn't about revenge or playing games. It's about understanding the profound impact you have and why sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is step away. Not to hurt them, but to reclaim yourself. Stage 1. The shock of uncertainty. The first thing they feel is shock. You were their constant, the one they thought would always be there, no matter what. And now, you vanished. This isn't just about missing a text or a call. It's the realization that they've lost control over the narrative they built around you. Here's the kicker. People hate uncertainty. It's wired into our brains. When something familiar is suddenly ripped away, it triggers a deep discomfort. They'll replay your last conversations, searching for clues. Did I say something wrong? Did I miss a sign? The truth is, they didn't see this coming because they never believed you'd leave. At first, they might brush it off. Oh, they're just busy. They'll be back. But as hours turn into days and your silence remains unbroken, the shock deepens. It's no longer about what you're doing. It's about what they've lost. Think about this. When was the last time you truly disrupted someone's expectations of you? Walking away isn't just an action, it's a statement. It says, I know my worth, and I won't stay where I'm not valued. And that's a shock to their system. Stage 2. The void of absence. Once the shock wears off, something even heavier sets in. The void. This isn't just about the absence of your messages or your voice, it's the absence of you. The energy, the kindness, the stability you brought into their life, it's gone. And trust me, they feel it. At first, they'll try to fill the void. Maybe they'll throw themselves into work, scroll endlessly on social media, or surround themselves with distractions. But here's the thing, distractions can't replace connection. And the deeper they sink into that void, the more they realize just how much they've lost. You see, people often mistake availability for permanence. They assume that if you're always there, you always will be. But your absence forces them to confront an uncomfortable truth. You're not replaceable. No one can bring the exact energy, care, or presence that you did. Let's pause here. Think about a time when you walked away from someone who took you for granted. How did it feel to reclaim your power? Drop a comment with "I'm stepping into my worth" if this resonates with you. Your story might just inspire someone else. In the next section, we'll dive into stage 3, the spiral of curiosity. This is where their mind becomes your biggest ally, and they start questioning everything. Trust me, you won't want to miss what happens next. Stay tuned. Stage 3, the spiral of curiosity. As the void deepens, their mind begins to wander. This isn't just idle curiosity, it's an all-consuming need to know. Where are you? What are you doing? Who are you with? Suddenly, you're no longer a constant. They can't predict you, can't read you, and that uncertainty drives them into overdrive. Let's face it, we live in a world of instant gratification. Social media, texts, notifications, they've trained us to expect immediate answers. But now, you've disrupted that rhythm. They check their phone, hoping for a notification with your name on it. Nothing. They open Instagram, hoping to see you post a story. Still nothing. The silence becomes a puzzle. And you're the missing piece they can't figure out. Here's where it gets interesting. The less they know, the more their imagination fills in the blanks. And it's rarely in their favor. They start wondering if you've moved on, if you're happier without them, or, worst of all, if someone else has taken their place. Their mind becomes their biggest enemy, spinning scenarios that only amplify their anxiety. Curiosity isn't just a feeling, it's a driver. It makes people act, even when they don't want to. Maybe they reach out to mutual friends to ask about you. Maybe they scroll through old photos looking for clues. Or maybe they send that first tentative text, "Hey, how have you been?" But here's the thing. You're not responding, and that silence? It's louder than any words you could say. Stage 4. The mirror of reflection. Once the curiosity becomes unbearable, something powerful happens. They start looking inward. This stage is the one they least expect, and it's often the hardest for them to confront. Without your presence to distract them, they're left alone with their thoughts, and for the first time, they have to face the role they played in pushing you away. At first, this reflection feels like discomfort. They replay every moment in their mind, the times they dismissed your feelings, the moments they took you for granted, the times they made you feel like an option instead of a priority. It's not easy for them to admit, but deep down, they know. They know they could have done better. They know they didn't value you the way they should have. And that realization, it stings. This stage isn't just about missing you. It's about recognizing their own shortcomings. It's about confronting the ways they failed to show up, failed to appreciate you, failed to see your worth. And that's not an easy thing to face. But here's the beauty of this stage. It's not just about their growth. It's about yours. When you disappeared, you didn't just create space for them to reflect. You created space for yourself. Space to heal, to grow, to remember who you are outside of their narrative. This stage is where your power becomes undeniable. You've stepped out of their orbit, and in doing so, you've forced them to confront a truth they can't escape. You were never the problem. Their inability to see your worth was. Let's pause again. Think about this. When was the last time you reflected on your own growth? Walking away isn't just about creating distance for them. It's about creating clarity for yourself. Drop a comment with "I deserve clarity" if you're ready to embrace this stage of reflection. For them and for you. Stage 5. The desire to reconnect. Now we're at the turning point, the stage where they feel an overwhelming urge to reach out. After weeks of silence, self-reflection, and a void they can't seem to fill, they realize they want you back. But this time, it's different. This time, they're not reaching out from a place of comfort or control. They're reaching out because they felt the loss, and it's unbearable. The text might start small, "Hey, just wanted to check in." Or it might be more vulnerable, "I've been thinking about you a lot lately." Either way, the intention is clear. They want to reopen the door. They want to know if there's still a place for them in your life. Here's the catch. The power is entirely in your hands now. This isn't about revenge or holding a grudge. It's about recognizing that you've shifted the dynamic. You've reclaimed your worth, and they're the ones trying to meet you where you've grown. The question isn't whether they'll come back, it's whether you'll let them. We've explored their journey through shock, the void, curiosity, reflection, and the desire to reconnect. But there's one more stage, the one where everything clicks for them and for you. In the final part, we'll uncover what happens when they finally understand your worth and how that understanding changes everything. Stay tuned. Stage 6. The final realization. And here it is, the moment everything shifts. The final realization. This isn't just about them understanding what they've lost. It's about them coming face to face with the truth they've been avoiding. You weren't just someone in their life, you were the someone. The one who brought light, warmth, and meaning to moments they now replay in their minds like a favorite movie they'll never watch again. But this realization, it doesn't come easy. It's not a lightning bolt of clarity. It's a slow, creeping truth that sinks in when they least expect it. Maybe it's when they see something that reminds them of you. A song, a joke, a place you used to go together. Or maybe it's in the quiet moments when the distractions fade and they're left with nothing but their thoughts. Here's where it gets real. They start to see all the ways they underestimated you, all the ways they let their own ego or complacency cloud their judgment. They realize that your absence wasn't just a temporary pause, it was a wake-up call, one they'll never forget. And for you, this stage isn't about validation or revenge. It's about standing in your power and recognizing that their realization doesn't define you. Whether or not they come back, whether or not they try to make amends, you've already won because you've chosen yourself. What happens next? Your power, your choice. Now that they've reached this final stage, they might come back with everything they've got. Grand gestures, heartfelt apologies, promises to do better. And for some of you, this might feel like the closure you've been waiting for. But here's the thing, their realization is their journey. It doesn't mean you're obligated to reopen the door. This is where your choice comes in. Do you let them back into your life, or do you keep moving forward? Whatever you decide, remember this. The power is entirely yours. You've grown, evolved, and reclaimed your worth. No one can take that from you. If you choose to let them back in, make sure it's on your terms. Don't settle for empty words or temporary fixes. They need to meet you at the level you've risen to, not pull you back to where you were. And if you choose to keep moving forward, know that it's not an act of bitterness or spite. It's a testament to your strength and the new chapter you're writing for yourself. One where you're no longer defined by someone else's inability to see your value. Interactive moment, your turn to decide. Let's take a moment to reflect. What would you do if they came back today? Would you let them in, or would you choose to keep moving forward? Drop a comment with "I choose growth" if you're ready to embrace the next chapter of your life, whatever that looks like for you. Disappearing isn't about games or manipulation. It's about creating space for them to reflect and for you to rediscover yourself. It's about stepping away from situations where you're not valued and choosing to prioritize your own peace and happiness. The journey they go through, the shock, the void, the curiosity, the reflection, the desire to reconnect, and the final realization isn't just a lesson for them. It's a reminder for you. Your presence is a gift, not something to be taken for granted. And your absence, that's a powerful message in itself. As we wrap up, let me leave you with this. Walking away isn't just an act of strength. It's an act of self-love. It's not about making someone else see your worth. It's about knowing your worth so deeply that you don't need anyone else to validate it. If this message resonated with you, take a moment to claim your power in the comments. Write "I am my own priority" to remind yourself and everyone else that you're choosing yourself from this moment forward. And if you're ready to keep growing, learning, and stepping into the best version of yourself, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Let's keep this conversation going, because this is just the beginning of your journey. Remember, you are the prize. Your worth isn't up for debate. And when you disappear, it's not the end, it's the start of something extraordinary. Until next time, stay strong, stay grounded, and always choose you.